Hello and welcome to a new week from the South Indian. My name is Sudha Sadanand and let me first bring you all the headlines from the south of India on your screens right away. Fire breaks out at Laddu Prasadam counter in Tirupati Thirumala temple, causing panic amongst devotees. No injuries reported. PV Anwar joins the Trinamool Congress, resigns as an independent MLA from Neelambur, says won't contest by polls. Karnataka Contractors Association writes to Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar seeking a meeting to discuss grievances and arrears. Karnataka High Court dismisses plea by Jayalalitha's legal heirs seeking release of her assets seized in the disproportionate assets case. Hyderabad police book Venkatesh Dagubati, Rana Dagubati, Suresh Babu and Aviram Dagubati for illegally demolishing a leased hotel. At the start of this week, the South Indian brings you stories from all parts of South of India. Let me give you a menu of what is coming up. First up, crucial CLP meeting in Karnataka. On the anvil, several questions to be discussed. Also, a gruesome incident in Bengaluru, one arrested for severing the udders of 3 cows. IT city Bengaluru ranked the 3rd slowest in the world. What are the reasons? Malayalam actor Honey Rose sues activist Rahul Easwar for cybercrime. Alright, the CLP meeting in Karnataka. Several questions will be asked. New Chief Minister? Maybe, maybe not. KPCC President? Maybe, maybe not. Caste census? Again, maybe, maybe not. Who knows? The CLP in Karnataka is scheduled to begin half an hour from now and is bound to be a very crucial one because both the government and the party are certainly in the midst of several contentious issues. 3 issues are of utmost importance, ladies and gents. Will Karnataka see a new CM in the near future? Will there be a new KPCC President? And the tug of war about the long overdue caste census in the state. However much are these issues being brushed under the carpet, it wasn't only the coming together of SC/ST leaders like host Satish Jarkioli, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah himself as also Minister for Social Welfare Mahadevappa, Home Minister G. Parameshwara and Cooperation Minister K. N. Rajanna. The meeting delved deep into the next KPCC President but also the next CM. Rajanna was even very open and said publicly as to what really was upsetting DK so much. DK Shivakumar, who was away on a family vacation at that time, wasn't amused and met with General Secretary KC Venugopal and asked him to put a stop to such meetings. The Deputy CM also brought the dinner meeting to the notice of Karnataka in charge General Secretary Randeep Surjewala, very important man today, and requested him to warn leaders who give public statements on party affairs. But like I said, enough and more is being done to whitewash the crises. And in the latest, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah said, and I quote, "My chair is not vacant. People gather for dinner, then it becomes news based on speculation that such discussions would have happened." Satish Jarkioli also came out and commented on the issue of Chief Minister. Listen in to what Jarkioli had to say.
Sir, is there a call for Dalit CM, sir, or somebody else to become? If there is a change?
नहीं, वो तो बात नहीं है. अभी एक सीएम तो है, उसके ऊपर कहाँ बिठाएंगे हम? एक तो है अभी चल रहा है.
को सीएम को लेकर टेम्पल से पूजा भी हो रही है, सर. आपको सीएम को लेकर
पहले से कर रहे ना. अभी कहाँ हमारा अध्यक्ष टेम्पल का पहले से दर्शन भगवान पूजा रहता है. ये नया नहीं है, 40 साल से कर रहा है, अभी भी कर रहा है, आगे भी करेंगे.
सर, आपके सपोर्टर्स कल बेलगावी में काफी पूजा करवाई, सर. आप सीएम बन रहे हैं बोल के.
वो भी पहले से, अभी का नहीं है, बहुत पुराना है. और सऊदी में भी, मक्का में भी किया है बहुत पहले, सब तरफ हुआ है, वो भी पुराना है, नया नहीं है.
This is what I mean. Politics requires special skills and acting is one of them. Let me now go across to the guests and discuss this crucial issue of denial, even as yet another impending dinner was cancelled, which was supposed to be hosted by Home Minister G. Parameshwara for SC/ST community legislators. MPs and leaders at the last minute, it was cancelled following High Command's instructions. Let me go across to the guests. We shall try and do this debate by going across to the guests turn by turn rather than lumping all of it together. Satya Prakash, spokesperson for the KPCC, has joined us. Ramkrishna Upadhyay, senior journalist, is also with us, and Professor Chambi Puranik, senior political analyst, has also joined us. Very, very happy Sankranti greetings to all of you. This is very, very important, and it's a pan-Indian festival. Thank you so much, Ramkrishna.
Happy Sankranti to you too.
Thank you,
And all
Satya.
your team members.
Thank
Happy Sankranti to you, Sudha, and for all News9 people.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you so much for your good wishes and blessings. So let's begin. Satya Prakash, you know, the first issue is about these crucial things which are going to be discussed. The point of the matter is that it's very, very clear. That day also I discussed it with you, and today, of course, the other topic also I'm going to discuss. The CLP meeting is scheduled for 6 o'clock, I mean half an hour from now. But my whole point is about all these meetings which were cancelled. You know, it seems like even Randeep Surjewala, you know, I got his message as I was entering the studio. He said there should be no factional fighting. You know, it is very, very clear that no one is against anyone, and requested all the leaders not to go out in the public and speak out. That doesn't mean, Satya, you stop speaking right now, okay? So tell me something. Seems very clear that your government is facing a crisis because there are factionalism. There is camp DK Shivakumar and camp Siddaramaiah.
Sudhaji, I am a political leader, but I am not an actor. You said most of the political leaders are actors.
Satya,
Okay.
you always
Yeah,
say these
that,
gems.
see,
Go ahead.
Sudhaji, see, the people of Karnataka have given us 138 plus seats. Plus there are 2 independents. Nearly we are having 140 legislatures on our side.
Right.
We have a responsibility towards that mandate. All the legislatures, the government, the ministers, the party functionaries have a responsibility towards those people who gave us the mandate. So if we sit down, you know, and keep on doing dinner meetings and all, that doesn't go well with the people who have voted for us, point number 1. We have a 5-year period and just 1.5 years is over. We have many more promises to keep. We have delivered on the guarantees, but we have too many other things to do for people, like, you know, development, infrastructure,
Caste
getting more
census.
jobs. That is why, you know, Mr. Surjewala, our General Secretary in charge, has brought it to the notice of the legislatures in the CLP meeting, which will be held in the
But
next
you know,
half an hour or so.
Satya, I agree with what you're saying. Any party will say that. Then what was Siddaramaiah doing at Jarkioli's dinner party?
See, what happens is, no one knew that it was not a political dinner as such. It was a meeting, you know, normally on a New Year Eve or after New Year. It's normal thing that, you know, political
When
leaders
politicians meet, unlike you and I or Ramakrishna, me and Professor Saab, if we meet, maybe we'll talk about the weather and other things. When politicians meet, they are not singing Baba Black Sheep to each other. This much maturity we all have. Clearly it became, because what else, why else should you meet, and why did it become so contentious? Ramkrishna Upadhyay, come in here. I want to ask you, didn't these dinner meetings become very contentious? Because see, Shivakumar went and complained to Venugopal, Ramkrishna. He said very clear, put a stop to this. And somehow, don't you think that DK Shivakumar emerged as victorious in all this and put a lid on all these murmurs, including what the Chief Minister said? So tell me something. Question number 1. Is there not a discussion about putting another Chief Minister in place? Is there not a discussion about KPCC President, you know, looking at other alternatives? Or do you think everything is hunky-dory, Ramkrishna?
Sudha, it all starts with the supporters of Mr. Siddaramaiah himself. It was MB Patil, it was Jarkioli and Parameshwara, who all wanted to have, and some of them already had the dinner meetings. So when, and especially when Shivakumar was away abroad, holidaying, and these dinner meetings started, And how can the Congress spokesman say that these were just dinner meetings where high bye is done? So it is very clearly intended to project the fact that Siddaramaiah is here for 5 years, and Siddaramaiah himself has started saying now that the CM chair is not vacant. So he is trying to put off the demand for the change of chief minister. So he's very clearly upset that DK Shivakumar has started raising this issue of change of leadership,
Right.
even much before the supposed 24 months or 36 months deadline.
All right.
So why is I don't know why DK Shivakumar is in such a great hurry, because if it is supposed to be 2.5 years, it's not yet over. It's only 19 months since Siddaramaiah took over as the chief minister. So he should wait for his turn.
All right.
And I think he has made a big mistake by making this a big issue when it was not required. And he has put all those people who are against him in one camp, or those who are not really with Siddaramaiah also are now with him. Look at people like Satish Jattwali, he was a CM aspirant. Look at Parameshwara, he was also a CM aspirant.
Yeah.
Now they are all supporting Siddaramaiah.
Rajanna.
This is the result of what DK Shivakumar has done.
Absolutely. Professor, I want to ask you, it is not so simple, sir. CLP meetings happen? Yes, they happen. But in Karnataka, the reasons they have an agenda. Now, Ramakrishna says Siddaramaiah is here to stay for 5 years. But Professor, don't you think there is a big, what I'm hearing is that DKS does not want to leave the KPCC presidentship, although there is nothing in the constitution of the Congress party to say you can only stay for 3 years. But, his tenure is over. It is in Udaipur. They said, one man, one party, one position, etc. But don't you think DK Shivakumar has not only emerged as someone who's victorious, but he's also very unhappy because he wants the CM seat, and secondly, he will not give up the KPCC presidentship, sir.
Yeah, I concur with you. That's what I was about to say, but slightly differ from my friend Upadhyaya. Satyaprakash, of course, is the person who has to defend. But some of these things, he will not be in a position to defend because all is not well in Congress.
Right.
Number two, DK Shivakumar is a hard nut to crack. I know all of these people personally also. They are people who have lots of ambitions. Siddaramaiah is now not the same Siddaramaiah who was there from 2013 to 2018. Siddaramaiah knows there is a kind of understanding. There is an understanding at the top level that the chief ministership should be shared after half term and all that. That is a fact, because I have talked to many Congress people and they say that it is there, but it all depends on the high command. So that's why Surjewala has come. He has not come with a definite agenda. He has come to see that the groupism and dinner diplomacy and whatever the kinds of things that have happened in the absence of Shivakumar. If the dinner meetings are held during the presence of Shivakumar, there wouldn't have been any scope or a kind of suspicion. But now, so another thing, Sudha, just give me 30 seconds more. The very fact that Shivakumar returned from Singapore, he stayed in Delhi for 2 days and he made the groundwork for Mr. Surjewala to come and warn these groups.
So you agree there is a crisis? So you agree there is a crisis?
But I also say that it augurs well for Shivakumar because he's, as you said, he's become strong also. In the meeting also, just now, the Chief Minister has spoken about 10 minutes ago.
All right, okay.
That Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi, they have sacrificed. In the party, we have to sacrifice. What does it mean? Where is the need for that kind of statement?
Of language,
so
yes.
To say,
absolutely.
So, was trying to consolidate.
So I'm happy
DK
that
Shivakumar is not in a position to yield to that.
So I'm happy that, except for Satya Prakash, who's of course doing his job very well, why grudge him? I don't grudge Satya at all. But the two journalists.
3 people at a time. So give me 3 times more time.
All right, okay, man. I like this. Okay, gentlemen. I like this when we can laugh about it instead of some other anchor who's shouting and throwing rockets at each other. The other issue, which is long pending, ladies and gents, and still contentious, is the Karnataka socio-economic and educational census, which was commissioned in 2014 during Chief Minister Siddaramaiah's first tenure. Even as the Vokkaligas and Lingayats protested against releasing it owing to the dilution of their influence based on data, Siddaramaiah said very clearly that it shall be released in the next cabinet meeting. Very, very clearly. He said, and I'm quoting him, "We have received the report and it would be placed before the cabinet to decide about its implementation." But look at it yet again when I speak about camps. This is what I mean. Deputy Chief Minister Shivakumar, who's the tallest Vokkaliga leader in the party and the government, seems to be shadowboxing. The Vokkaliga community leaders were all set for a meeting to thrash out the controversial caste census report, but it had to be postponed, apparently owing to logistical issues. Quite possible. Everyone is travelling. According to the Sangha President B. Kanchappa Gowda, though we hear that the issues would be discussed in the cabinet meeting on 16th of January, it will not deter us from fighting. Shivakumar has also, of course, requested for a postponement of the meeting, but nowhere has he asked for the meeting to be cancelled, even as the Chief Minister, Siddaramaiah, is insistent on presenting the report. Will this drive a deeper wedge between CM and his deputy in the Karnataka cabinet? Or maybe, like we've discussed, give a fillip to DK Shivakumar, who has clearly emerged as the voice in the party and the government. Meanwhile, at the KPCC office bearers meeting, Randeep Surjewala, while proposing a caste census, also said that the census was neither against DK Shivakumar nor HK Patil. Let me once again go to the guest and discuss this. Satyaprakash, tell me something. This whole confusion about caste census, first of all, forget the politics. You owe it to the people, I say. I mean, it's been delayed so much. Now when the Chief Minister is saying at the next cabinet, I will present it, DK Shivakumar is planning a meeting with, Vokkaliga leaders saying, let's postpone it because I am travelling, then I have Jai Bhim, Jai Bapu, etc., etc. Why isn't your government? Rahul himself has said that the caste census should be presented, I say, Satyaprakash.
See, I would like to commit before all of you that in the next 4 or 5 days when the cabinet meeting is going to happen, the caste census will be before the cabinet. That is a process. This report came to us just 3-4 months back during the last days of Mr. Jaiprakash, who was heading the Permanent Backward Class Commission.
Right.
In the last 3 to 4 months, we have spoken with the leaders. We have spoken with different constituents like Vokkaligas, Lingaites. The TCMS who have spoken with some people within the party. There are some discussions. Now we are bringing it to the cabinet. Before the cabinet, I think today Mr. Surjewala and Mr. Siddaramaiah will keep it in front of the CLP also, taking the concurrence that we are going to keep it before the cabinet. Why we need a caste census? Caste census is a diagnostic tool to understand which caste or in which parameter as far as socio-economic, educational is concerned.
Why should anyone have problem? Not anyone. Is DK Shivakumar anyone, Satyaprakash? Is that what you're saying?
No one should have any problem for this because
what
Mr.
about
DKS is responsible
DKS
to the
has had a
OBCs
problem.
of the state.
He's met with
Mr.
Vokkaliga leaders many times over and he said...
Mr. DK Shivakumar is responsible for the justice of the state. All leaders are responsible for all the social spectrum of the state.
But there is a wedge. So come on. You are calling DKS anyone? I mean, I hope, this is not Ramakrishna Upadhyay. This is a very contentious issue. And, when I spoke about whether it's, I think CM, KPCC, etc., fine. That I think they will all see who'll scratch my back and I'll scratch yours and come to a consensus. But this caste census, Ramakrishna Upadhyay, is a very contentious issue, I say. The Vokkaliga leaders are saying we will fight, come what may. Now, DK Shivakumar has gone and met them at least 5 times is what I hear. Of course, publicly twice or thrice. The Lingaites are also going to jump into it with their 15%, 17%, no we are 20, no we are this. The Ainda group is going to come up as the largest group. What is this? Don't you think this is going to create a deeper wedge within the cabinet and the party and the government as well? Ramakrishna Upadhyay?
So now this caste census is a bogey which Siddaramaiah has very, very adroitly used for now 7-8 years. So the report itself is about 7 years old, and 2018 it was submitted. It was given by Kantaraju, who was the then chairman of the Backward Class Commission, which was of course later on a little bit of modification and whitewashing was done by Jayaprakash Hegde committee. But the fact of the matter is, this is a very flawed report. Everybody knows that it's a flawed report. Though 160 crores was spent on this exercise, I don't know why they needed 160 crores and where it went. There has been no audit on why so much of money was required for this. Right. And in spite of all that, nobody, accepts this report. I mean, this is a report which has not even been made public. It shows the
Why should
the government itself doesn't have the
Go
confidence.
ahead. Go ahead,
The
Satya.
government
Why
itself
should
doesn't have
someone?
the confidence.
Why should?
And
Why
please,
should
I did
someone
not
have any
interfere with
problem
you.
with this
Please
report?
let me
You tell me.
finish. Please let me finish. After
How
that, you
could
can
it be
speak.
a flawed
Let me
report?
finish, sir.
Ramkrishna ji, I want to
Sir,
ask you a question.
let
I
me
want to ask
finish,
you a
and
question.
then you can,
How
and then
can
you
you
can
call
talk.
this a flawed
And then
report
look,
when the
look,
government
this is my
employees have done
turn.
this report?
This is my
When the
turn. After
enumeration is
that, you
done by
can speak.
neutral government
Let him
employees,
finish.
Please
No,
listen to me.
Satya. Let
call
him finish.
report as a flawed report
Let
in
him
itself
finish.
Mr.
is
Satya Prakash, have the decency to wait for your turn. Okay? Please wait. Please wait for your turn. So this is a report which has been not even been presented, to the cabinet so far. Why? It was given in 2018. Why didn't they take it up then? And Siddaramaiah has been in power for now 19 months. Why
Right.
wasn't it done earlier? So there are a lot, and everybody knows that the Lingayats and Vakaligas are dead against this report.
Right.
I mean, unofficial, reports say that the report very clearly says the Lingayats population, it takes it at around 65 lakhs from what it was earlier. That was 1.2 crores. And Vakaligas at 60 lakhs.
How do you know it was 1.2 crores?
0.09
On
crores.
what basis?
So they have been put
Mr.
as number
Upadhyay.
3 and number 4. You
Yeah,
see, the
quickly,
only
quickly,
things are put
Satya,
at the
because I
top.
have to go to
The
Professor
Muslims-
Sir also.
The
Quickly.
Muslims come number
Mr.
second.
Upadhyay,
The
tell me
Muslims
on
are put
what
as number
basis
two.
you are
So this
telling
is
the
problem
Lingayat
with
population is 1.2 crores.
for
On
Vakaligas
what
and
basis?
Lingayats,
Which report
they are
says,
not going to
Mr.
accept it.
Upadhyay,
They are not
wait
ready to
for a
accept
minute.
this report.
Mr.
So
Upadhyay,
that is the
listen for a
crux of the
minute.
matter. And
Listen for a
Siddaramaiah has
minute.
brought it forward now.
Listen for a minute.
All right,
Streamline the
let
whole
me
Which
report.
summarize it.
report says that
Ramkrishna
Lingayat
says the
population is
report
1.2
is
crores?
not only delayed, but it's deeply flawed,
Which
is what
report?
Ramkrishna is saying. Quickly, in one line, I have to go to Professor Sir. He's been waiting his
Yeah,
turn.
please go to him. A report which was made by the Permanent Backward Class Commission, which doesn't belong to any party, it doesn't belong to Lingayats, it doesn't
Then
belong
why is
to
there a
Lingayats,
controversy, I
it doesn't
say?
belong to FPP,
Then
it
why
doesn't
is
belong
there,
to CLP.
Are Satya Prakash, then
that-
why is there?
When you don't have
Professor Sir,
belief
Professor Sir,
independent commission,
Professor
how did you
Sir,
come
come
to
in,
conclusion
sir.
that Lingayats
Professor
are
Puranik.
1.2
Please
crores
tell
in
me.
the state?
Professor
On what
Puranik,
basis you
please,
are saying
sir.
Lingayats are 1.2
Sir, please come in,
crores?
sir. Professor Puranik.
Yeah. So now, I agree with my friend Mr. Upadhyaya, because it is not only flat; it's considered as unscientific. And some of the whatever the kind of surveys were done, it seems more people were left out, because they were not consulted. And Mr. H.D. Kumaraswamy, though he is an opponent, he has said that none of them came to my house and all that. Such examples are there in all that. Second thing is, as Mr. Upadhyaya mentioned, it's more than 9 or 10 years old, whatever data is there. So much water has flown. Third thing is, there are many important sub-castes whose numbers are more in major communities like Lingayats and Vakaligas.
So, Professor
For example, the Lingayats, they are Kanigas. Kanigas cannot be separated from Lingayats.
I just want to know quickly what I was trying to ask you. No.
Yeah,
Professor
I will tell you
Puranik.
One more thing. I have discussed with one member of the Backward Class Commission, who was my student. He was there more than 2 or 3 years. He told me that whatever you have said is a fact. And he doesn't want to identify openly.
Professor, do you think it will create more of a problem between DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah, sir? In one,
it will.
It will.
Be a big
Ramkrishna,
problem.
do you think it will? Then I go to Satya.
I want to ask one question to this August panel.
Just Satya, coming to
Do
you
you
in a
know
second.
when was the
Satya,
last? One second, Mr. Ramesh
one
Upadhyay.
second.
Mr.
I'm coming to
Upadhyay,
you.
please wait. Mr. Ramakrishna, please wait.
Yeah, please wait.
Please wait.
Please wait. Let me finish, and then.
Do you know when was the last time that the
No, let
census
him
was done
finish,
to
then
know
I'll
the
come to
OBC
you.
population of different castes in the state? It was
Go
in
ahead.
1911. From 1911 today, you have something at least, and you are saying that is a flawed report.
But what do you mean
Till
by
now, we don't
something?
have
You are
any
not
report.
doing the people a favor, no? You are supposed to, you owe it to them. You are not giving me a freebie like Anna Bhagya. Come on. Ramkrishna, do you think that it will create more of a problem between the number 1 and number 2, sir?
Absolutely, it is going to, and I don't think it's not just DK Shivakumar. There are a whole lot of other ministers who will not accept it. I mean, see, the Lingayats and Vakaligas are the dominant communities. And Siddaramaiah also knows that this is something that it will not go through, and he's just playing politics. I mean, he's just trying to sidestep the issue of chief minister's post. So this is a very clever ploy to take the debate away from the Chief Minister
All right, okay.
post issue.
Satya, come in, Satya, now. Satya, come in, please. Satya.
See, what has caste census got to do with CM's post? That has nothing to do.
Absolutely.
See,
That
what
is the
is
reason why he has brought
one
it.
second, Mr.
That is the reason why
At
he
least
brought
allow
it.
me, yeah.
So you
Don't
also
don't
did like
suppress
to
the
that.
voice
No?
of
When I
OBCs and Dalits.
when I was talking,
Don't
did you allow
suppress
me
the
to
voice
speak?
of OBCs
So
and
this
Dalits,
is what
please.
happens
Allow
when you
OBCs
try to
and
stop other people from
OBCs and
talking.
Dalits to speak on this issue. Allow OBCs and Dalits to speak on this issue, sir. Because this is a very important tool for the OBCs, Dalits, minorities.
denying it?
But it has to be scientific, isn't it? If it is not scientific, why will anyone accept it?
Exactly.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸಮಪಾಲು ಸಿಗುವ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ why are you telling it is a flawed report? If you don't
It is
believe
because
your own
everyone
government
feels that it is a flawed report. Where was the survey done? Where is the scientific survey?
One second.
Look, my
Business
moot
people
point
never
is
came in between. No, please
half
allow
an
me.
hour from now,
If
the
you don't
CLP
believe
report
your own
is,
employees-
the CLP
One
meeting
second.
will start, and caste census is
employees
going to be
don't
very,
belong to
very
any caste.
important on the agenda. But my whole story was that this is not going to solve the problems within the cabinet, the government or the party. The wedge is very deep. It's split wide open, as Professor said, and even as Ramkrishna Upadhyay said. Now, Satya Prakash, the thing is, before I end this, let me tell you, caste census, you owe it to the people. You're not doing anyone a favor by saying at least we are doing it. What do you mean at least you are doing it? But what others are saying? It was leaked first. Listen, we know the history, okay? It was leaked. The Vokaligas have also objected against it, and therefore, of course the Lingayats, but because the Vokaligas, it's going to create, and DK Shivakumar is not going to sit quietly after the so-called wins he's had in the 3 by-polls. He's emerged as the only leader of the
Give me
Vokaligas.
1 or 2 minutes.
One
Give me
minute.
1 or 2
1 minute.
without
I will
interruption,
give you.
without
1
interruption,
minute.
without
Okay,
interruption.
sure, go ahead.
Why should the Lingayats and Lokaligas have any problem with this? As Mr. Puranik said, he is telling that many subcastes. The problem is Lokaligas and Lingayats have subcastes. That those subcastes also numbers will come in this report. You can always merge all the subcastes and say we Lingayats are so much, all we Vokaligas are so much. Why are you having a problem? The
We
problem
don't,
you are
Mr.
having-
We don't, we are not. No, please ask
You
DK
don't
Shivakumar
want-
next
you
time
don't
you
want
meet him.
the real
I
strength
think
of
we will
Dalits
have
to be
the
known to
answer.
people.
Please
Have a
ask
problem.
DKS. Why does he have a problem? Like Rajanna asked, why is DKS so upset? You should ask him,
never
Satya
give
Prakash,
even 1 minute
and
of-
maybe
please
we'll do a
wait.
story. No, we are done, and I think that's it. Thank you very much, all of you gentlemen. Professor Puranik, thank you very much, sir. Ramkrishna, thanks very much, and Satya Prakash ji, thank you very much. I have to take a break, but the story on the other side is downright horrific, gruesome. Incident in Bengaluru. One has been arrested for mutilating the udders of 3 cows. Can you imagine the bestiality in this?
What is to the nines? In literal terms, it's perfection. But to us, it's not just a phrase, it's an attitude. One that starts at your desk and sends a statement to the world. To the nines is about taking charge. It's a way of life where every scene, every fold, is crafted with excellence. It's timeless elegance and uncompromising quality made for the corner office. It's the ideas that inspire redefining order and elevating the tabletop. To the nines, for the leaders of today and the visionaries of tomorrow.
Valuations can be frothy. Going public is almost like what some of us would like to say is the holy grail, right? IPOs are a trend, not a bubble.
Do secondary markets exist? Answer is absolutely yes, and it's been around for a very long time.
Valuations could be high or low, and valuations may correct over time, but IPOs are here to stay. It is basically a graduation ceremony of sorts. It is potentially where a startup stops being a startup and starts becoming an enterprise.
The IPO space has just started in the past 24 months. The startup ecosystem has been around for 15 years.
Fundamentally, if you have a strong business and you have predictability of cash flows and you can actually give with a fair degree of confidence where the business is headed, the market will reward you.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
All right, welcome back. You're watching the South Indian, a very, very gruesome incident indeed. Cows' udders mutilated in Karnataka. In a gruesome incident, the udders of 3 cows were brutally cut off in Bengaluru's Chamrajpet. The injured cows were found lying in a pool of blood on the road on the 11th of January after residents woke up to the distressing wail of the animals who were crying out in pain. The injured cows were later rushed to the Chamrajpet Animal Hospital for further treatment. The incident sparked massive outrage and triggered protests by local residents, animal rights activists and BJP workers in the Vinayaka Nagar area of Chamrajpet. The Cotton Pet Police, which registered a complaint in this matter, made an arrest and took a native of Champaran, Bihar, Nasru, into custody. The accused worked apparently as a helper in a plastic and cloth bag stitching shop, which was just 50 meters away from the place of the incident. Later, Nasru reportedly confessed to the crime and said that he had committed the act under the influence of alcohol. The accused has been sent to judicial remand till 25th of January. Meanwhile, BJP leader and LOP R. Ashoka visited the hospital and condemned the attack as an act of jihadi mentality. Let me now go across to Mohammad Wajiullah, my colleague. But before that, let me say that it is, of course, extremely brutal, but it also comes into focus because the South, much like across India, is celebrating Sankranti, where cows are worshipped, especially whether it's Tamil Nadu, whether it's Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, all over we worship cows during Pongal, the festival of Sankranti. Vaji, what a cruel incident, Vaji. I mean, under the influence of alcohol, but it seems like it's too simplistic to, understand that someone was drunk and therefore went and cut off the udders of cows. It is so cruel, it's beyond cruel.
Well, Sudha, yes, indeed, this is an inhuman act that we are seeing in front, which happened in a Chamrajpet district, Chamrajpet area. But what we need to understand is the investigation that have taken place in this entire matter, where the police have also gone on to say that this particular person is believed to be somebody from Bihar. He doesn't know Kannada. He's been living here for the last 10 years. And he has had a past where he has been behaving perversely with animals, and there have been complaints with regards to this. But what we're also seeing is the politics that have taken place. Though the act that has happened there is completely inhuman, something that should not have happened. But you're seeing politics also happening on the side of it, where the BJP has said that this is not an act of one particular person. This seems to be something that that has been done, especially at the time of Sankranti. And the BJP has also gone on to call that we are going to celebrate Black Sankranti because of this particular incident. Now the government has already arrested the culprit. He's behind bars, and an investigation also has been done. But in this investigation, we've got to know about the behavior of this particular person. The police has also gone on to say that he's mentally disturbed. He was working in a small shop over there because he had nowhere to go. He used to sleep on the road itself, and he was drunk also at that point of time. But this has not gone down well with the animal rights activists in the city. They have demanded action against it. They've also said that this has also happened at the backdrop of a veterinary institution that was there, which has been shut down, and they were finding a lot of difficulty. So this act, though, has sent a lot of shockwaves across the city, and has also created a tense sort of a situation because the BJP and the owner also has gone on to call this as an act of terrorism and an act of jihadi mindset. But the government, on the other hand, has maintained that this was an act that was done by somebody who's mentally unstable, somebody who has had an history of doing perversive actions with animals. He's believed to be a man named Nasru, who works at a garment shop very close to this particular cowshed.
Very well, Mohammed Wajihullah. Forget about the politics. Work of a perverse, sick mind. Nothing but that. Thank you so much, Wajihullah, for joining us on this broadcast. And the next story which is coming up is also on and about Bengaluru. IT city Bengaluru ranked the third slowest in the world. For those who keep complaining, this is unmissable, ladies and gentlemen, on the South Indian coming up. Alright, that's it. IT city Bengaluru is the third slowest in the world, and that is saying something indeed. The IT city of India, Bengaluru, known for its fast-paced life, ironically has been named as the world's third slowest city for traffic in the year 2024. According to the TomTom Traffic Index, which is a report prepared by the Dutch location technology firm TomTom, commuters in Bengaluru take an average of 34 minutes and 10 seconds to travel a distance of just 10 kilometers. This places Bengaluru at the third spot in the index, only behind the city of Barankila in Colombia and Kolkata, where commuters take 36 minutes and 6 seconds and 34 minutes and 33 seconds respectively to travel 10 kilometers. The report further reveals that morning rush hours in this city are particularly challenging, with commuters averaging 38 minutes and 50 seconds to cover the same distance at a speed of 15.5 kilometers per hour. Evening traffic, even more of a nightmare, with travel times averaging 41 minutes and 59 seconds and congestions soaring up to 68%. The report also highlights a steady worsening of Bengaluru's traffic conditions. You know, if you look at 2022 index, the average time to cover 10 kilometers was 28 minutes and 10 seconds. In 2023, this figure has increased by 50 seconds to 29 minutes. My colleague Mohammed Wajihullah filed a detailed report on the traffic woes in Bengaluru. Take a look at some of the important voices and then we come back.
Tech Corridor Outer Ring Road witnessed an unusually massive traffic jam.
Bengaluru residents went through a harrowing experience after a massive traffic congestion.
Sadly, even the Silicon Valley of India is no stranger to hours of traffic jams and frequent accidents.
Bangalore traffic is an example of something that has gone wrong with our system.
Bangalore is India's IT engine. It accounts for almost 40% of India's total exports of $178 billion annually. Now, the potential to do much better exists, obviously, not just for IT, but also for aerospace and garment industry. But the city suffers because of its traffic.
2000, if you go, all IT start coming to Bangalore, because Bangalore is one of the centers for education, good education, engineers and other qualified people. With that, it has seen a tremendous growth in IT. Most of the international companies start flowing to Bangalore rather than choosing other parts also.
All right, Srinivas Allavilli, Program Senior Fellow, Sustainable Cities and Transport, WRI India, is joining us. Srinivas, Welcome to this chat. I just want to know, I have done enough and more stories. News9 has focused on the woes of Bengaluru time and time again. You ask me and we know it, potholes, bad roads, quick fix solution, etc., etc. Tell me something. Do you think that none of the governments have had the will to change anything about Bengaluru traffic? They will keep saying, oh, we are inviting industries, we are doing this, that and the other, but when it comes to roads, no one is interested. Srinivas.
I understand the frustration, and I'm, a long-term resident and participant in the system, so I know where you're coming from, Sudha. But couple of things that I want to point out to you and to your viewers. First of all, this TomTom index. It's not a right way of measuring the congestion in the cities, because it's trying to do something across countries, continents. As your list shows, there is London there is Colombia there, all of that, right? So measuring, they're not apples to apples. Going 10 kilometers from A to B in a Indian city is very different from doing that in London, for example, and things like that. So it's a very limited.
Right, even if it is limited, but then don't you think that the traffic woes continue in Bengaluru? I have seen the city. It's like you cannot imagine.
Okay, yeah. So you cannot imagine, because you mentioned last year when the ranking came, it was about 28 minutes and now it went to 33 minutes, right? So what changed between last year and this year? Obviously, roads didn't disappear, right? The same roads existed, if not more, at least we have the same road. So what changed? The number of vehicles changed. Every single day, 3,500 new vehicles get added to the city of Bengaluru. So how can the existing capacity of roads accommodate 3,000 new vehicles, cars and two-wheelers every single day? We now have 1.2 crore personal vehicles in the city. 1.2 crore. Now, if I were to measure the speed of travel in Bengaluru, Whitefield is one of the most, IT job area of Bengaluru, right? So earlier it used to take anywhere from 2 hours to 2.5 hours to go from South Bengaluru.
Yeah, but
now if you take the metro, you can reach there in 45 minutes. So who has the congestion? If you choose to use the metro or public transport, you don't experience the congestion. If you choose to be in a car,
so is the onus on the people? So Srinivas, is the onus on the people?
The onus is on the people, because governments never create traffic. People create traffic.
But come on, governments build roads. Government build roads. Those terrible roads. If there is one way, one way. I go to Bangalore. So the thing is that what will take 5 minutes usually early morning, it takes me 8 minutes because there are potholes on the roads. Terrible roads.
See,
who's responsible?
There are 14,000 crores of kilometers of roads in Bengaluru. There are potholes for sure. It's not like there's a pothole every 100 meters also. All the visuals that you're showing, I am yet to spot one pothole on the roads that you see.
Right, Srinivas,
the larger point I'm trying to make, Sudha, is that the condition of the road is one of the reasons for traffic being slow or congestion coming. It is not the main reason. It's not even the top 10 reasons.
So you are saying people should shift from cars to metro so that your roads are decongested.
I'm saying
what happens to school children? What happens to school children, to ambulances?
I'll come to that.
Yeah.
I'll come to that. The primary, people cannot take public transport until it exists, right? You cannot force people to take something that doesn't exist. So the responsibility of government first is to build the public transport, which is very slow, and we are probably 2 decades late on that. Bangalore missed the mark, horribly missed. All governments of Bengaluru missed the building out of public transport. Now, because of which we are facing the consequences of our own growth. Our growth leads to jobs, our jobs lead to cars, and cars fill up all our roads. That's what happens, right? So now, how do we get out of it? You can't keep on building flyovers and tunnels and so on. There is no end to it. You build one more flyover, you get even more cars. That's how the transport system works. So the only solution is mass transport. That mass transport in Bengaluru is now on a rapid growth phase right now. So from last year to this year, 30% more people are using the bus and the metro. This is a positive sign. And in the next 5 years, pretty much everybody in Bengaluru will be within 2 kilometers of a metro station.
Right,
we are looking at it in 2029.
Yeah, but not my mother who's old and feeble. I mean, she needs to take.
It's not for everyone. Public transport is not for everyone.
But then
who causes traffic congestion? The traffic congestion is caused by the daily commuters. It's not caused by your mother or my child, right? It's caused by the commuters. They are the ones that go in outer ring road. 12 lakh.
But then Srinivas, the thing is, you also say that public transport has to be bettered. But if you see one downpour and the roads are in a shambles, so when the roads are in a shambles, some companies say don't come to work, you work from home. But these are all quick fix things. Many people like Mohandas Pai, a lot of people say that if there is no infrastructure in an IT city like this, where DK Shivakumar can announce some really great, highways and etc., but what is the use? Because there are no ordinary roads which can take me from one place to another. We cannot stop people from buying cars. Public transport, you say we are 2 decades late. I mean, it seems like this is a perennial problem. I mean, where does one go then, Srinivas?
It is a perennial problem until we put the things in place and slow down the growth of Bengaluru in the sense that develop other cities in Karnataka, neighboring cities where there can be more jobs created. Otherwise, you keep getting, the country is benefiting from Bengaluru, the state is benefiting from Bengaluru, but Bengaluru itself is suffering because it doesn't get a good share of the taxes it own generates to create infrastructure. The metro that we are building now should have been 10 years ago, built 10 years ago, and we are here now.
And also, Srinivas, you spoke about Whitefield. I'm asking you a question. Do you think because the IT companies are all located in one belt, that's why it chokes up like this? You think it's one of the reasons?
Definitely. There are only 3 regions in Bengaluru with all the IT concentration: Electronic City, Outer Ring Road and Whitefield. All of them have massive number of jobs. So if you have more decentralized, spread out kind of work environment, that would have definitely helped. Your observation is absolutely on the mark. There is a new metro line coming to Bengaluru airport. As you know, the airport is a good 40 kilometers away from the city. Along that metro corridor, you are going to see a lot of IT companies and new tech parks and offices space created along with residential areas. When these things happen, you are going to see a much better spread out of traffic and a more even distribution. Right now, people are forced to travel 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers just to get to their work. It should never be that way.
I'm happy you're sounding so optimistic because, my other people who come on the show, for instance, Sandeep Aniruddhan, he says that none of the governments have worked on this. It's not as if what you're saying the government doesn't know. It knows.
It'll only be the ignorant that will think that government is not doing anything. I am one of the harshest critics of the government. I'm an activist who opposed flyovers in the city, and now I work very closely with the public transport agencies. So I know how much work they're putting in and how much the systems are getting better. The case of Bengaluru is that the growth happened before the infrastructure got developed. The kind of explosive growth that you see in Bengaluru, there is no other city in India or perhaps in the world that you can see like that. Given our political economy and really old school governance mechanisms, we are not able to catch up with that, right? We are in the same city of Bengaluru. Please understand this. We have one of the biggest cities for quick commerce. 10 minutes, I can sit in my house and order anything I want, from food to a TV to a computer to an iPhone, whatever shows up in my doorstep in 10 minutes. Why is it I'm not able to do that? I am not able to get to work because that business model is based on certain way of utilizing public infrastructure. Whereas traveling across the city, I see some buses on your screen. In 2014 in Bengaluru, there were 6,500 buses.
All right.
Today also there are only 6,500 buses.
Okay. On that
so
note,
we have all of these growth issues.
Shine. Thank you so much, Srinivas Allavilli, for joining us on this broadcast. Thank you indeed. And our next story is coming from Kerala. Malayalam actor Hani Rose sues activist author Rahul Easwar for cybercrime. What's the story? Telling you in a moment. That's the story. Hani Rose sues activist author Rahul Easwar for cybercrime. I'm very surprised. Let's ask Rahul. Malayalam actress Hani Rose accused activist and author Rahul Easwar of orchestrating a cyber campaign with an intention of discrediting her complaint of sexual harassment against businessman Bobby Chemanur. In her complaint, Hani Rose alleged that Easwar's actions were aimed at manipulating public opinion against her and also of trivializing her grievances. In a social media post, Hani Rose said that her family has undergone immense mental stress due to Easwar's actions. She wrote, and I quote, "Rahul Easwar, you are one of the main reasons behind the mental agony my family and I are enduring. I filed a valid complaint regarding the abuse I faced on a public platform, which led to a police case and subsequent action. While my role was to only lodge the complaints, Rahul Easwar has been actively planning a cyber campaign to undermine the seriousness of my case and mislead the public. These deliberate attacks are an insult to my womanhood and dignity." In response, the complaint registered against him at the Central Police Station in Ernakulam, Rahul moved the Kerala High Court seeking anticipatory bail. Even though no case has been registered against him so far, Rahul Easwar sought an anticipatory bail on the concern that he might be included as a co-accused in the sexual harassment case registered against Bobby Chemanur, who is currently under a 14-day judicial remand. Rahul Easwar in his petition has termed that his remarks were constructive criticism and he did not use any slanderous language. Let me now go across to Rahul Easwar to speak more on the issue. Rahul, thank you so much for making the time. Rahul, when I read this, I was surprised. Rahul Easwar, who always talks about, how women should, you talk about personal choice, you talk about, you may have a personal judgment, but which you will reserve it. How come this happens where you comment on the clothes she wears, Rahul Easwar?
Sudha ma'am, two submissions. First of all, I have the highest of regards to Hani Rose, who is not only a Kerala star, but who is a pan-South Indian star, who has even acted as heroine of Telugu superstars. So I have highest of regards for her. As a match in a channel debate, when it was a Bobby Chemanur versus Hani Rose, I respectfully also gave a feedback or a criticism to Hani Rose that modesty of dressing is also needed. Because there has been many times that there has been controversies regarding the particular choice of attire and the way in which she wears dress. If you can connect to a pan-Indian audience, for example, people like Urfi Javed has been at the center of controversies because of the choice of dresses. Similar but on a different scale, Hani Rose has also attracted controversies. So I was respectfully submitting that she needs to take feedback as she is an eminent artist. But she, maybe because it's a very tough situation for her, she got agitated. She came out with a Facebook and Instagram post against me. I respectfully submitted that if you are feeling sad, I'm totally with you and family. But at the same point of time, criticism is a right of an individual. She again got agitated and went to the extent of saying I'm a part of organized crime. She's on the verge of suicide. So again, I respectfully
Are you ready to apologize, Rahul Easwar?
No, absolutely no. I have not done anything wrong. I stand with her in her sadness.
But Rahul Easwar, I wanted you, but I'm not going to spend more time on this because, it's sub judice in more ways than one. I don't want more confusion. But Rahul Easwar, what Urfi Javed wears or what Hani Rose wears, it's their business, no? Who are we to sit on judgment? And let me tell you one thing, as an elder person than you, I've only worn saris and I have been teased, I have been trolled, and I have also been groped in buses. So it's not about what I wear, it's about the other man, his eyes, and what his intent is.
Ma'am, 99% fault is with man. But can I respectfully ask you a question? Sure. Even when a person who is senior wears a sari, wears a modest dress, who is attacked and assaulted, what about those people who were revealing clothes?
But that's the problem of the men. Revealing is, maybe it's revealing for you, it's not revealing for someone else. It's about how you keep your decency under check, no? So therefore I was surprised, Rahul Easwar.
But shouldn't there be also, can I ask you a question? Under Article 19, India's fundamental right, subsection 2, there is an idea of decency itself. That decency should be in word, deed, dress, action.
I'm sure if it's an obscene act and if it is done in public, I will be taken into custody. But if I wear a short skirt, a plunging neckline, and these are actresses. Urfi Javed is a model trying to be an actress. Hani Rose is an actress. I can tell you a lot of names, great film stars who wore revealing clothes. So what? That doesn't.
They went to a public place or inauguration or a college. Similarly, Amala Paul, who is again a South Indian, very pan.
So that gives Bobby Chemanur a right to kind of misbehave with them.
I was the first person to categorically say that Bobby Chamanur is wrong. He should apologize and he should definitely say sorry to Honey Rose. You can see me on record saying that. But the point here is, unfortunately, Honey Rose was not amenable to any kind of feedback. She shouldn't believe that she is beyond criticism. She is beyond social audit. Bobby Chamanur is 100% wrong, but Honey Rose should also respectfully take feedback from the society, as she also is not beyond
I don't
criticism.
think so. If I start taking feedback from society, my life is over, Rahul. Someone says cut your hair. Someone says don't wear saris, wear jackets. Someone says wear sleeveless. I'm an actress, I'm an anchor, so I have some way to dress. But if I were an actress, let me tell you, I will wear what I want to wear. In my personal life, I wear what I want to wear.
Can I ask you? Yeah. Just one question. Are we wearing the same dress to a college that we wear to a pub or a nightclub?
I'm sure they do.
The attire we wear to a pub.
It's a personal choice, Rahul Easwar.
For example, the dress we use in a news channel, can we have that the same kind of a pub dress while we are working in a news channel? It is not possible because there is a lack of appropriateness. There is a lack of auchitya. That's my submission.
All right. On that note, Rahul Easwar, thank you so much. Very kind of you to have joined us on this debate. Thank you indeed. All right, so on the South Indian, that's what we had this Monday evening. We will bring you more news and updates tomorrow, which is Tuesday. News from all over the south of India. Until then, goodbye. Thank you for watching.
Hello. If your money is fraudulently taken by somebody or cybercrime takes place with you,
क्या हम कृष्णा दास गुप्ता जी से बात कर रहे हैं?
And you report it to the bank within 3 days of the crime, the bank is liable to pay you 100%. This is clear-cut guidelines.
मैं डिपार्टमेंट से बात कर रहा हूँ.
If you report it within 7 days, the bank is liable to pay you 50%. And if you report it 21 days, I think 25% or something.
और हमने ये देखा है कि आपके आधार कार्ड से एक सिम रजिस्टर्ड हुआ है यहाँ.
If the person gives information within the span of 3 to 4 hours, 100%